stuff like that. What happened was my teacher wanted me to work with her, and I said no at first because I was shy. I didn't think I could guide people. At that point, in the early stages, I only did readings for workmates and friends, and I didn't think I was ready, but she thought I was ready. So what happened was she invited me to her shop one day to visit her, she said, come over and hang out and visit. And I said to her, I'm not going to do readings because I knew that she kind of was wanting me to do readings in her store.
She was
And
pulling you in.
she said, no, 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 you just come and visit and hang out. She was bored that day. I remember it was a rainy Sunday or something like that. And she also said, bring your cards with you. And I said again, I'm not going to be doing readings. I'll do a reading for you, but that's it. Anyway, so what happened was when I turned up at her stall, she had a table and a chair for me ready in the back part of the stall. And I said again, if you get someone to do a reading, I'm walking, I'm going, right? Anyway, so this woman comes up, and my teacher said he's available, and that's how it is. So she sort of cornered me to do it, and I sort of sat down with this client, and it was an amazing reading. It was just really, really amazing. Like I remember saying to her, "There's two men in your cards. One of them is far away, and there's lots of love around him, and one of them is close, and there's lots of money around him." And I was very, very basic in my reading. And I said to her, you're thinking of the one that's far away and you're romantically more interested in him, but the one that's near you is more financially stable. And but I said, but there's also a feeling of unhappiness with him too. And this client started crying. Now, I never had a client or person that cried yet, so I didn't know what to do about that. I was looking away, trying to avoid eye contact.
I've been there.
I didn't know what to do, so I just kept talking. And then she said to me, "What should she do?" And I said, "Well, I think you should follow your heart because if you don't, you'll always be unhappy." I said, "You'll always be thinking of the one that's abroad. I think you should just follow your heart." And then she paid me. I remember it was $20 Australian dollars, and she left, and that was it. She said thank you so much, and that was it. And after that experience, I was hooked. I was pretty much hooked because I could see the power of the tarot and how it altered someone's life. This woman was in agony. She was in love with someone abroad, but she was comfortably living with someone here in Sydney, and she was just not happy, and I basically told her what she already knew, but that was enough to get her to see, what path to take. After that moment, I was on a high, and my teacher came over after the reading, after the client had left, and she said to me, "Very good, you did very well. Next week, bring a box of tissues and also get a timer," because I went over time. Like the reading was supposed to be for 20 minutes and I ended up being there for like 30 minutes or something. And that was it. That's how it all began. So I think my point to people is it's organic. For me, it was organic. It was like step by step by step. Then I worked with my teacher for a few years. And then I started to work in other New Age stores in Sydney. I ended up working for like 3 or 4 of the best ones. And I did that for about 10 years. And then I opened my own shop, which is the Fortune Teller shop. So I think what happens with tarot and astrology and psychic readings, I think you sort of evolve. And I think most people, it sort of grows.
Yes.
I think some people try to sort of jump in and make a career out of it, and often they don't get many clients because it's word of mouth. I think it's also your energy pulls clients towards you. People start to tell their friends about you. It was very organic for me. But yeah, I think I think as well, a lot of people are afraid to jump in as well.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
I notice sometimes people are afraid to ask for money as well.
There's a lot of people that have an issue with charging what they're worth, and charging for their time. Realizing that, what it is that we do, even though we use the gifts that we have, we are still providing a service.
Yeah.
And by doing so, we have to put a monetary value on our time because we are assisting this person in their life. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back in about 4 minutes. In case you need to grab a drink, use the bathroom, and we'll have them listen to some music.
Great.
I'll talk to you in a bit.
Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Con voluntad infinita arrancó del corazón la melodiosa expresión, pidiendo que desde el cielo nos envíes tu consuelo y tu santa bendición. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, todos los días, papá. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Virgen venerada y pura, Santa Bárbara bendita, Virgen venerada y pura, Santa Bárbara bendita, nuestra oración favorita llevamos hasta tu altura. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Hay en tu mansión sagrada, donde lo bueno ilumina, junto a tu copa divina y tu santísima espada. Que viva Chango, todos los días. Que viva Chango, papá. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Con tu fluido, tu sagrada bendición. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores. Yo también de corazón te daré mi murmurío, con orgullo y poderío haré que tu nombre suba, y en el nombre de mi Cuba este saludo te envío. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, todos los días, papá. Que viva Chango, que viva Chango, señores.
And we are back. Ooh, that was a little odd sound. We're back with Paris Debono, and I've got a little bit of noise. That could just be me. So, Paris, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure if you can hear it. We had a person in chat, Stacy, that said, when do you really know you're ready to be a professional reader? Is it more of like a confidence thing?
Ready to become a professional?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yes.
Well, I think I think you have to build your experience up. I think people, friends and family will start to recommend you. When I first began, before I did readings for the public, a lot of my friends and family started to, want readings. They started telling their friends, their relatives. At first, I didn't charge any money to those people because it was also my way of building up my experience. However, after a few months of doing that, I started getting drained by people and also feeling used. So people would come over and, spend an hour and something, talking about their love life or their career and whatever. And often some of them didn't listen either because it was for free. So after a while, I said to my family and friends, I'm not doing free readings anymore. If you want a reading with me, you can buy me lunch, or you can buy me some food or whatever, or a deck of cards. I want this deck of cards and it costs $30, so you can just give me $30 and I'll buy that as a present from you. So at first it was a bit like that, but like I said, I was lucky because I did have a teacher who already worked in a market stall, so that helped me sort of make that leap. I think for people out there, now we've got the internet, so now you could try to, build a business through the internet. Back then when I started, we didn't have the internet. It was always face-to-face. So there's different ways you can do it. But I do think you need to build a experience. You need to learn how to stop a reading, like finish a reading. You need to learn how to ask for the money. When someone comes to me now, I tell them straight away, do you want what I have a price list next to me when I'm at work, and I say, which one do you want? It's like a menu. Which reading did you want? Do you want the 20-minute reading? Do you want the 40-minute reading or the hour? And they choose. They're clear about the price. The price list is there, so they know that it's not free, and they know that 20 minutes costs this much, so they don't have to sit there wondering. And I have a timer. I have a timer beside me, and when the timer is done, if the reading's done, sometimes people might need a longer reading. I say, would you like to go for another 20 minutes because we need to talk about a few more things. So you just become very structured. I'm very structured in my readings. I don't like to if it's a 20-minute reading, then that's it. I'm not going to go for 35 minutes. Right. I have a shop, so I have to work on a time, schedule. Some people work from home. I think you've got to be clear with your client straight away, how much you charge. And I think they respect that too. In the early days, I was always a bit nervous to sort of bring up the money issue. Now I just bring it up straight away. I just say, look, I don't have FPOS here, so I only take cash. I don't have credit card facilities in my shop at the moment. I only take cash. Is that okay with you? If they say they don't have cash, I say to them, well, there's an ATM just on the corner, so you can just go and get the cash before or after. So I'm very direct, very clear. I don't make it, don't make it dramatic, don't make it a problem.
And I think that's important. I don't know why I'm getting feedback now.
Look, I'll tell you an example. One time I had not too long ago, I had a celebrity, right, in Australia. She's very well known. And I was a little bit awestruck because I see this woman on television, a lot, every day. And she was recommended to me by somebody. And anyway, I did the reading for her. And at the end of the reading, I said to her, oh, your reading's free. Because, she's a celebrity. I felt like, well, she might spread my name and tell people about me and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, well, a nice thing to do would be just to say the reading was free. And she said, no. She said, no, I'm not going to not pay you. She said, you're a professional. She said, I respect professionals. And she said, I'm going to pay you. She said, thank you for the gesture. But she said, if I don't pay you, then I won't be likely to. She said she will feel uncomfortable the next time she wants a reading.
You know,
and I was like,
I'm
wow,
glad
that's interesting.
I'm glad you
like
brought that up.
Respect, you know.
You know, I did
and I
something
learned from
recently
that.
like that.
I thought,